You. My name is Piper. I am 34. I have a neurological disorder called Friedreich's ataxia. It's a form of ataxia, was best called MA. I live alone. Did I say that already? I live alone, and welcome. Today I wanted to give you guys a part 2 on my visit to rehab.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no.
They described rehab to me like kind of like a summer camp. I honestly thought it was gonna be like a really fun time. Activities include physical, speech, occupational therapy. And also, they said my room would be my own. I'd have my own personal bathroom. And I would also have like personal caregivers, CNAs, nurses, pretty much on standby to help me with whatever I needed. And I'm quoting now, they told me rehab was going to be like the Piper show. They told me it would always be all about me. I wouldn't really feel neglected. I'd feel very important in the facility. And the rehab, they told me, would be intense, but beneficial. And maybe in some other life, I'm like a really athletic person. But right now, I've never really been athletic. But whenever I have therapy, I work 100%. I will do anything anybody needs me to do. I will go 110%. I'm pretty good as a therapy patient. So, when I left the hospital, it was kind of sad because I was saying goodbye to all these nurses and CNAs who had really seen me through the worst, the best, and my most naked. They saw me, but it was time to leave, and I was, like I said, I was really excited. So, my insurance told me that they would arrange for a ride there. And the rehab facility was like 30 minutes away, so kind of far, but okay. Not really far, but you know. Anyway, I went, and it was actually an off commission ambulance, and I don't know why I said off commission, off duty ambulance and off duty ambulance drivers. That took me. I kind of thought it was going to be a wheelchair van or whatever, but anyway, not important. But I went there, and when I got to the facility, it was very nice. It was landscaped, it was very clean. All the workers there were smiling at me and looking me in the eye, which I like. And they really just welcomed me with open arms. They showed me to my bedroom, which was actually a lot bigger than I thought it would be. It was kind of set up for a horror lift, but I do not use one. But It was completely my room. No roommates. I had my own window. I had my own bathroom, and it was a big bathroom, bigger than mine right now. It had its own shower and everything, and I was like, oh my god, I'm being spoiled. Again, I've never really been in a rehab facility. Don't know what it really gives you, I guess. I was just very impressed, and all the people there they were very nice, and they told me the same rhetoric, that I would get whatever I wanted, anything I wanted. It was a private show. They were there to help me rehab and get back on baseline, and I was just very happy to hear it. They asked if I needed anything. I wanted food because I was starving. They brought me dinner, and I think it was sloppy Joe or something. I ate it, and quickly, not long after, I went to bed, and I was exhausted. I really want you guys to know how tired I was. I really hadn't slept a lot in the hospital. So I was like, I was just out. However, it wasn't long before it wasn't out. They came the nurses, doctors, and CNAs came into my room all throughout the night to give me pills, take my vitals, give me exams and everything, which it was really rather annoying. But the worst one was when I woke up to someone throwing the blankets off me, and all of a sudden I could feel a gloved hand in my crotch. And I sat up and I said, whoa, 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 whoa. And I put my hands over my areas and I said, what are you doing? And there was a woman, and her name was Kim. God, she was terrible. I hated her. She goes, I'm just doing my job. And I was like, what is your job? That I have to check and see if you are wet. I said, well, I'm not. But you could have asked me instead of assaulting me. I know how to do my job. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know what I'm doing. That right there, if anyone is keeping count, that's your first red flag. That's one of the reasons I did not stay long. I don't think you should ever say that just because you're disabled means they can do anything they want to you. Oh, no, no, they cannot. But not long after she left, and I was really tired. I just wanted her to leave so I could go back to sleep. Which finally I did. And I would say I slept pretty well compared to the hospital, aside from the night assault. I slept well, and honestly, it was because the bed was way more comfortable, way better. But I woke up the next morning at like 7:30, and I had my morning meds, and then got me out of bed. I went in the bathroom and they said, okay, let's get you into the dining room. And I said, what? And uh, someone the dining room at the rehab facility is for people watch you and they feed you if you are choking or not able to get the food down well. That is not my issue. And it was my first day. I just at least let me eat in my room on my first day. I am not really up to roaming around the clinic or facility or meeting the other residents, other clients. I just let me stay in my room. And I met my physical therapist and my occupational therapist, and it was going well. But the same thing happened at lunch. I did not want to go to the dining room. They wanted me to. I told them again, it's my first day. They let me stay in, but they were really grumbling about all the extra work they had. Second red flag. Extra work. Am I to understand you have no help? I thought there would be someone to help for myself, and very odd. Something to remember. Dinner time was where it really started to get bad. So I was still mad, but a CNA came to bring me my dinner tray. I was a little surprised because I was thinking of going to the cafeteria, but whatever, I guess not. She came and started to get a spoonful of. I had salmon that night. I'm not a seafood person, but okay. She was getting a spoonful of mashed potatoes to feed me. And I said, wait, I would like to get out of bed and go to the bathroom. She looked at me and said, oh, well, why don't you eat dinner first? I didn't want to argue and be one of those where it's like, fine. I ate dinner and it took like 10 minutes because I didn't really eat a lot of the salmon, don't like seafood much, but I finished and she was cleaning up my tray. And I said, wait, can I go to the bathroom now? And she said, well, first, let your stomach settle. I need to go check on the other clients and I will come back for you with another nurse or something. I agreed and I said, all right. And even though, why do you have to let your stomach settle to go to the bathroom? I wasn't running like a marathon, but whatever. I was waiting bed for like 30 minutes. And she came in again with another nurse. And I started to pull the blankets back off me. She stopped and said, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm getting ready to get out of bed and go to the bathroom. She said, no, no, no. We're gonna put I totally just forgot what they're called. We're going to put a bedpans or a bedpans or momentarily forgot. We're going to put a bedpan under you. I hate bedpans, seriously. If you are disabled and you have to use a bedpan, it kind of requires you to lay on top of it. It digs into your back and your skin, and it's just not pleasant. I told her this, and she insisted I try. So she rolled me to my side, and they put a bedpan under me. But almost immediately, I almost cried and said, "Ow, ow, no, no, please stop, it hurts." They moved it, and I said, "Oh, well, I guess I need to get up." And so we started getting up again. She said, "No, no, no, Piper, as a rule, we do not get patients out of bed in the evening." What? Anyway, she said they put a bedpan, or is there a bed pad under me when they moved the bedpan, and she said if I have to use the bathroom, I can go with the bedpan. God, sorry, the bed pad, and then call them back. And they will clean me up, and I can go to bed. They get left with their stuff, and assuming I was going to call them when I was done. But you guys, I was so frustrated. I am not a dog. I am not going to go to the bathroom in my bed laying down and have people just come clean it up. I was my mom's dogs. They are little dogs, and when she goes somewhere, she brings a doggy pee pad so that if they have to go into the bathroom, she doesn't need to take them outside. That's all I could think about. And I was so frustrated. I started crying. I had no words. I was so angry with my situation, with myself. I really felt like nobody even tried to understand how I would feel. And after about 5 minutes of just bawling, I thought, no, no, Piper, you were not a dog, you were not a prisoner, you were not a child. If you want to get out of bed, you will get out of bed. And I don't really recommend doing this, but I started trying to get out of bed myself, and the beds at the rehab facility were kind of high up there, and I needed help. And a male nurse, was walking by and he saw me through my doorway and said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait, what's going on?" And he came in to help me, and a female nurse came and got me out of the bathroom, and they both got me back into bed, and I was done. I was done with eating, I was done with going to the bathroom. I was like, alright, tomorrow will be a new day. True, in a sense, it was a new day, but I mean, it wasn't really better. It was the day it left. Because I woke up and again, they brought me breakfast, but I think they were starting to see me as a little princess who got her way. And that did irritate me, but I ate my breakfast. I got out of bed. I stayed out of bed just in case. And I said, what time is my therapy? And my therapy did not happen because apparently I had a free day and I did not have any therapies on the second wait, on the third day I was there, kind of the second day. Why would I need a break? What have I done? I had a break that day and I said, okay, well then I would like to shower. A CNA came in and told me if I want to shower, I need to sign up. And today she had way too many clients to assist me. I mean, I was pretty much done at that point, and my reasoning was I felt like I was not being cared for. I was not being given any priority. This was not the Piper show that they said it would be. I called the head doctor guy and I told him I want to go. And he kept saying, what? No, stay. What do you mean? What do you need? And I said, I need to go. And he was asking why, and I told him what I just told you. And I also told him that the caregivers and CNAs, obviously they were way too busy and they had too much to do. And having one less patient might make it easier on them. And he was like, what? No, they're not overworked. They can always ask us if they need help. I said, I've worked in this field. No, they can never ask you. You will never offer it. Called a cab. My parents paid for it, but I got a wheelchair cab. I recovered at home. It was a little inconvenient for my parents. They were helping me because my caregiver's miscommunication made me lose all my caregivers. I had to get others. It all worked out, but that will be another story for another day. In my experience, I don't think I ever will go to another rehab facility, at least not in this administration. There's just not enough people, not enough nurses or caregivers. That was just my story for you guys. I wanted to tell you my story today, not just to entertain, which I hope you were entertained, but I also kind of want to give a little PSA, I guess. Disabled people are considered a minority group, and minorities are pretty much expected to not make waves, just be grateful to be here and just really be nice to look at. Don't. If something feels wrong, we should be able to react and do everything we need to in order to alleviate that bad feeling. That's a weird way to describe it, but we are human beings. We deserve to be treated with respect, and if something's wrong, you should never feel afraid of causing waves. Do it.
Do it!
cause a tsunami, whatever you need to. I know my family isn't always exactly pleased with my way of handling things, but it feels like I'm doing the right thing, and in the end, that's really all that matters. That is all I will say. End of the speech.
End of speech.
I just want to pop in real quick and say thank you for sticking with me and watching me with these crazy hairstyles. I've tried something new. Not sure braids or even the after effects of braids really look great on me. I feel like I've time traveled from the 90s and I want to go buy some scrunchies now and maybe call my sister and see if she wants to meet me at the mall. Anyway, if you liked any of them, tell me if you like any of my hairstyles, or if not, please like and subscribe. I promise I will be back very soon. I have so many videos to share with you guys, and I'm gonna update you on everything that's happening, which a lot is actually happening. But I had to tell you my rehab story. I will see you guys in the next video.